Oh, it's okay.
Reuters versus the news agency.
Yeah.
Similar.
Yeah. Yes, I am. Yeah, so I'm a steward with the Guild. I'm also a climate reporter. I'm one of the few who still has a job at the Washington Post. But I feel really strongly that I can't do my job, the job that I've been doing, without all of the colleagues that I lost yesterday. The Post, the special sauce of the Post has always been how collaborative it is. I mean, working with people on international, on local, on the graphics and data teams, on the design team, all of that is what makes our journalism distinctive and worth paying for. And that was obliterated yesterday. And you know, we've heard time and time again from Post leadership that staff cuts are about positioning the Post to be successful. And I don't deny that we are in financial problems. It's a very difficult moment for the media industry. But it's ludicrous to think that losing these amazing Pulitzer Prize winning, innovative, dedicated journalists is going to make us more successful. It's going to give reason people to keep subscribing and keep reading. And so we're here telling Jeff Bezos to be the steward of the Washington Post that he pledged he would be, and communicating to our leadership that they need to own this. They need to own their failure and not pass it off on workers. I mean, certain, like, you've obliterated our Metro desk, right? The desk that broke Watergate. The desk that was covering that won a Pulitzer Prize for coverage of the insurrection at the Capitol. Like, these were journalists who we are losing are some of the best in the world. This community needs them. The U.S. and the planet need them. And I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I am profoundly disappointed. Yeah. I'm Sarah Kaplan. I'm a reporter on the climate team, and I'm a steward with the Washington Post Guild. But it's Sarah with an H, Kaplan, like the test prep company. Yeah. Thank you.
I wish it wasn't icing because everyone could make their impression. I was trying to get in my ticket.
Yeah.
People there were, and I just slid on the ice.
No fucking idea what we're doing this. Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah. I don't know if my way. They were like allowance to buy something.
I would spend the next 2 months like working on the book.
Yeah.
And then maybe like a couple weeks off.
I would.
Start working.
Salt Lake. I mean, from there. Everyone in Salt Lake, yeah. Yeah. All the out of the
I'm going to hold this really close to my mouth. Welcome to the Washington Post Guild's rally in protest of the massive, devastating job cuts at the Washington Post, where more than 300 of my enormously talented colleagues and myself were laid off from this newspaper yesterday by email. A lot of people have been asking me about the impact of these cuts, and I have very honestly been telling them, I don't think we know yet. The impact of losing 300 journalists who hold power to account, who investigate corruption, who tell you about what's happening in war zones overseas, and whether your kids' schools will be open because it snowed, is immeasurable. I was a local enterprise reporter. I covered this region. I talked to people who a lot of people don't know by name. People who live People who live in affordable housing or on the street. People who work hard in these communities. People who take the bus to get where they need to go. And those are the people who have lost most of the reporters who cover them. Our Metro staff was gutted. Our sports staff was eliminated. People who do criticism and cover art and books lost their jobs. Our flagship podcast, Post Reports, was eliminated. Several of our foreign bureaus, including those covering essential places like the Middle East and Ukraine, were cut. I don't think we know yet what these impacts are going to be, but I know that the region and the country and the world is a worse place today for having lost all of these incredible reporters. And I would ask, can we actually just get a round of applause for them and all of the work that they've done? We're out here today because we still believe that journalism matters. We still believe that journalists matter. And we still believe that democracy will die without them. I am going to be introducing a number of speakers, many of whom are folks who lost their jobs yesterday, and many of whom are allies and supporters who have come out here to show their support and to demand that the Washington Post do better. That it do better by the people who lost their jobs yesterday, that it give everybody fair severance and fair terms, that it consider perhaps hiring some of us back when it realizes it can't do what it needs to do without us. And we also ask that for those who still work here, that the Post do better by them and by the community it claims it serves. My first speaker, I'm going to pass the mic over to the co-chair of the Tech Guild. He is my brother in the fight, and he represents the tech workers at the Washington Post who recently organized. Patrick, come on up, where is he? Patrick, here he is.
I like that song, though. Hey, y'all, Patrick Nielsen here, co-chair of the Tech Guild. Very proud to be standing here in front of you with a partner here, Luke Connors. Louder? Okay. Yesterday, I was shocked. I have never seen something like this happen before at the Post. And then I gave myself an hour to be sad, and then I've just been consistently fucking angry for the last day or so. We just recently unionized, and management sent us a list of 76 employees that they are targeting for layoffs of our 276 members. They're basically saying, here's a rope, go hang yourself with it. Our response is absolutely not, and we're fighting that. We stand in solidarity with all of our members here at the Post Guild, our brothers and sisters that actually make this place run. I can speak for myself, and I know I speak for a lot of others, that the reason I work here is because of the amazing work that the Post Guild does and continues to do on a daily basis, despite the lack of support from our leadership on a continual basis. It's disappointing on an immense scale the lack of communication we have from Will, the lack of communication we have from Jeff, and how they seemingly don't really seem to give a damn about this institution or the people that make it run. So it makes me really, really proud to see all of you here. I'm heartened to know that all of you are putting up the fight, and whether you're impacted personally in this layoff or not, that you are still here to show people that the work the Post does matter. And if you're still here to pick up the pieces, that you're still in the fight, and that we're still here to fight with you. Thanks, y'all.
Hello, my name is Luke Connors. I'm chair steward for the Tech Guild. Yesterday, so many of our colleagues lost their job in such an impersonal and strategically indefensible way. That list that Patrick mentioned was sent to us, and the company refused to inform members directly, put the onus on our stewards, our members, many of whom were on that list and targeted, to make dozens of calls to our employees and inform them.
Shame!
This is not how you treat people with dignity and respect. It's not a serious approach to leadership. How will the highest paid people in this building be held accountable for their decisions? We, down here, we are here to save the Post.
Yeah!
And it won't be saved by AI or aggregation. It will be saved by the workers who build our award-winning products our readers pay for and create world-class journalism that our communities rely on. Thank you all.
Thank you guys. When I first started at the Washington Post, I covered protests. And a couple years ago, when we were in our contract fight, I helped organize our one-day strike, which was the biggest strike DC had seen in 50 years. So if you will indulge me, I would like to get a chant going.
Yeah!
When we fight, we win. When we fight,
We win!
when we fight,
We win!
one more time. When we fight, we what?
We win!
Hell yeah.
Yeah!
It's my honor next to introduce the president of the News Guild, John Schlois.
When workers are under attack, we stand up, we fight back. When workers are under attack, what do? Stand up, fight back. When journalists are under attack, what do? Stand up, fight back. When tech workers are under attack, what do? Stand up, fight back. I wake up every day with the Washington Post. I go to bed every night with the Washington Post. I, like millions of others across this planet, depend on the Washington Post and the journalism and the journalists of the Washington Post to inform me of the world. Is that common out here? Yeah! These layoffs are shameful.
Shame!
The fourth richest person in the world, Jeff Bezos, owns the Washington Post. He could run it at a loss for the rest of time, and yet he refuses. And instead, he's spending tens of millions of dollars buying a documentary from Melania Trump to curry favor with the President of the United States. When people show you who they are, believe them. Billionaires only get rich by stealing from us. And what they're doing with these layoffs is so shameful and so sickening. Jeff Bezos did this intentionally after our members, after journalists, after readers asked him to do better. We asked him to save the Post, and he refused. This was intentional. It was intentional for Jeff Bezos to hire Will Lewis, knowing that he was under review by Scotland Yard for his involvement in a cover-up to a phone hacking scandal with the royal family in the UK. It was a decision by Jeff Bezos intentionally to hire and promote incompetent executives who failed to innovate. It was an intention of Jeff Bezos to do these layoffs today and this week. Shame on Jeff Bezos! Shame! I blew out the microphone. We have a duty as journalists and as good unionists and as people who give a damn. We have a duty to seek the truth. We have a duty to hold power to account. We have a duty to afflict the comfortable and to comfort the afflicted. We have a duty to fight. When journalists are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When workers are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
We have a duty to stand up and fight back and demand more. And that's what we're doing. News Guild members and CWA members are mad across the country, across North America, for this shameful behavior. I am so sick and so disgusted for these layoffs, for all these amazing journalists and other workers, folks who answer the phone, folks who build the apps. They shouldn't have to lose their jobs. We have to dream big. We have to stay angry. We have to hold power to account. Are you with me?
Yes!
Are you with me? When journalists are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When the tech workers are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When workers everywhere are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Stand up, fight back.
Save the post! 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 Save the post!
Save the post! Let them hear you upstairs, everyone!
Thank you, guys. I am going to start introducing some of my colleagues, some of the enormously talented journalists we are talking about who lost their jobs yesterday and some of whom are returning to a changed newsroom today. The sports department of the Washington Post is an incredible place, or was an incredible place. They delivered exclusives, beautifully told content about not just sports, but culture, politics. What does it mean to be an athlete, gender, all kinds of issues that are at play in our sports arenas today. They told the story about the fight for the Commanders Stadium here in the DC region, and my very talented colleagues at that desk lost their jobs yesterday. Here to speak on behalf of the sports section is Molly Hensley Clancy. My colleague and my comrade. Where's Molly? Everyone give Molly a round of applause.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes. Hold it real close.
Okay. Wait. Okay, now you can hear me, right? Under.
Yeah.
Okay, ice cream film. Okay, I almost said no when I was asked. Okay. Now?
No.
Press the button.
Hello. Hello. No.
Blowing out.
You're gonna get the next song. Shit. Okay. So just hold the button and talk into it.
Bring back sports! Bring back sports! Bring back sports! Bring back sports!
Hello up there.
All right. Now it's a rally.
Now it's a rally.
That's right.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. I almost said no when I was asked to speak today on behalf of the sports section because it's such an impossibly huge, intimidating task. I only had the privilege of being a sports reporter at the Post for 5 years. fraction of a long, storied history, that it was the best 5 years of my journalism career. I agreed to speak because I realized that in so many ways, my own experience on the desk and everything it gave me exemplifies the things that made Post Sports great. Like the fact that I got hired at all. Sports reporting is not a friendly place to women usually, but Post Sports was and is filled with women doing the biggest jobs on the desk. I also didn't know anything about sports, to be honest with you. But they hired me because sports were never the most important part of our desk. Our coverage was about power and influence and accountability. It was about human beings on the fields and rinks and courts. It was about the steadfast, loyal, and dedicated fans. Woo! The Post put investigations that I wrote that other people might have dismissed as inconsequential on the front page. And they trusted me when I said they would bring in subscribers, which they did. My last story brought in 250 new subscribers, which, by the way, is more than Will Lewis has netted the Post in his entire tenure as publisher. My career there feels like a dream, that I got to learn about dogged reporting from Will Hobson, a Pulitzer Prize winner, listening to his grumpy phone calls with NFL lawyers, and about how to write from Kent Babb. What other sports desk has someone who can write like Kent Babb? No one. That I got the best investigative editor in the business, Joe Tone. That I got to learn about loyalty and dedication from Les Carpenter, who, as we speak, is reporting on the Olympics even after they callously laid him off. I got to learn about holding even the most powerful institutions to account, from the team that investigated sexual harassment at the Commanders and the team that produced Blackout, our series on black coaches being shut out of the NFL. I would be remiss if I didn't say a few words about our leaders. Matt Rennie, who was steadfast, tireless, and caring beyond belief, unflappable in a crisis. And Jason Murray, who led our desk through years of incredible reporting. I appreciate that he didn't shy away from this horrible thing, that he stayed with us until the end. Yesterday, he made me cry by signing off his email, the last Washington Post sports editor. He did not deserve to have that title, but I'm glad it was him. And on the other side, Will Lewis, Jeff Bezos. I have a few words about them, too. In every single way, they are cowards. They are cowards who refuse to show their faces and look us in the eyes as they ended our livelihoods. They are cowards who left incredible reporters stranded in Ukraine and threw away reporters who had laid their lives on the line for the paper. I know they don't feel shame, but they should. Shame! Shame! They are cowards who blamed us even until the very end for the Post struggles, even though they were the ones who refused to invest, to acquire and innovate and listen. They were desperate to cast blame on anyone but themselves. Shame! Shame! A few months ago, the Post rolled out a new slogan, riveting storytelling for all of America. That slogan is just another thing that Matt Murray and Will and Jeff do not understand, because there's nothing as riveting as sports, and there's nothing that brings all of America together like sports. This is why the loss of our desk is incredibly heartbreaking, but it's also utterly senseless. The Post is abandoning a chance to write about the last thing that unites us, and they're throwing away the reporters and editors who know how to do that better than anyone else in the country. The last thing I want to talk about is our readers. Yesterday, after I got laid off, I went with my wife to an event, and as soon as I told people I worked for the Post, they started gushing about sports. One person told me how much it meant to their parents that they'd been named All-Met. Another person asked if I'd overlapped with Boz, if I knew him. Another told me that he and his dad had collected together more than 100 Washington Post sports sections, that they still kept them. And then, only after saying all that, did they ask me what section I worked for. And I was so proud to say that I was part of that. I worked for Post Sports. Will, Jeff, Matt Murray, they've demonstrated over and over again that they don't know our readers. The people who've come to us all over the last 24 hours. They don't know what they care about, what makes them subscribe, what makes them loyal. They don't know how much Post Sports means to them. And they do not understand that there simply is no Washington Post without sports. But they will. Thank you. Yeah.
round of applause to Molly. And to the I am going to introduce our next speaker, who is not just my very good colleague, but a very good friend. Michael Bryce Sadler is a local reporter at the Washington Post. I have had the enormous privilege of working with Michael closely on stories over many years about people that no one would know about if not for our work. People who lost their homes, people who lost their livelihoods, people who didn't have any other recourse other than coming to the newspaper and saying, "Can you help us?" Michael is an incredible reporter, but he is also an even better person. Michael and I have been out in the city together at night during protests when we were getting shot at and tear gassed. Michael and I were also contributors to the Washington Post Pulitzer for our coverage of the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. And like every journalist out here, Michael deserved better yesterday. So please make some noise for Michael Bryce Sadler, my friend and my colleague.
Thank you, Marissa. How's everybody doing? I love the turnout. Great to see y'all. So my name's Michael Bryce Sadler, as she said, and I guess keep coming back to the same set of questions. How is a Metro desk supposed to earn the community's trust if you keep taking resources away from the Metro section of this paper? How are we supposed to get our jobs done properly if you cut the staff and you tell the community we don't give a fuck about you? You deserve better.
Say it, Michael.
And they should be ashamed of themselves. We're told to do more with less, then even more with less. Write faster, publish more. Make no mistakes, but the margin of error for us keeps shrinking, while for those on the 9th floor, it keeps growing. Let's be honest. A Metro staff of 12 people cannot cover the region and hold power into account properly. We need resources, not less. We need to say it loud, and we need to be clear. We can't stand for this. It's not sustainable. Please help us. Jeff, do better. Matt, do better. Will, do better. Shame on all of you.
Shame!
Thank you.
Before I introduce our next speaker, who is a national breaking news reporter, I'd like to get another chant going, and I want all of you to participate. This is for the journalists, but it's also for the readers. It's also for the community. When I say, who makes the post, you say, we do. Who makes the post?
We do!
Who makes the post?
We do!
Who makes the post?
We do!
Welcome, Ben Brash, a national breaking news reporter, my friend and another Post Guild leader.
Okay, just one piece of housekeeping. I know that it might be hard to hear on the sides, so I implore you, you can watch a live stream of this event on the Post Guild Instagram. So even if you're on the wings, you can still hear it right there. I just pointed at it. Excellent. Okay, also, don't lock your knees, okay? We don't need anyone falling out. So just give your knees a little bend, that's all. All right.
Stretch break with Ben.
Yeah. My name is Ben Brash, and I was a reporter on the National Breaking News team until some haircut I've never met sent me an email because some knighted dude and the richest guy since Mansa Musa decided to ruin this vaunted newspaper. I was only at the Post a short time. I got here, and 3 months later, the buyouts began. That was a publisher and 1.5, I think, executive editors ago. Does anyone remember Rob Winnett? I think it was. I remember that. But before I came here with some stops in between in Orange Grove towns and in Atlanta, I was a student in the southern part of the Pinellas County School District.
Closer. It's like you're licking an ice cream.
Licking an ice cream cone?
Yeah,
We can do that. Okay, great. I was a student in the southern part of the Pinellas County School District in St. Petersburg, Florida. That might ring a bell to...
Megaphone! Megaphone!
Hello? Yep. Great. That might ring a bell to any of the education reporters or Pulitzer heads out there The St. Pete Times, and don't correct me, produced an incredible investigation into how the district, through racism and greed, let schools in my predominantly black-sided town turn into failure factories that pumped out bright-eyed failure. Okay? Why am I telling you this? Well, gang, I fear that the Washington Post is now a failure factory. How can it produce quality journalism with so many gone? I'm not saying that they can't run this place without me. I'm saying that it is worse without us. And one of our very own, Lisa Gardner, won a Pulitzer for that project in 2016. And I've been intimidated over ever since. But I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about my team, the National Breaking News team, nay, the GA team, for 3 years. Before yesterday, our emaciated team withered down to 8 reporters and 5 editors, working shifts 7 days a week from 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m., passing off to our hubs in Seoul and London. We're nothing now. 2 reporters, 2 editors, that's it. That's all that's left. Shame. Right. And I'll tell you, some days it was hell. Blood, carnage, body cam footage, mass shootings, hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires, hell. So much destruction. Do you know who didn't have to do any of that? Jeff Bezos and Sir Will Lewis didn't have to do a damn bit of that work. They just have to move offices when 50 of us march up there and intimidate him. Okay. But other times it was goofy stuff, and it all mattered. It seems like management doesn't agree, and personally it's hard to care what's in their hearts and how tough it is for them when their actions speak pretty damn loud. Yeah. They don't care about us. They do not care about the workers of this vaunted newspaper. Boo! So what did I do to a man with a hammer? I did some reporting. Did you know that Sir Will isn't an OBE? No, he's a Knight's Bachelor, which means that he isn't inducted as one of the members of the organized, with an S, Orders of Chivalry. Okay? He isn't held to chivalric rules, and boy, does it show. But gang, I have good news. The Guild gives us one thing that we gave up when we chose journalism. We can have an opinion. Yes! And no, it's not about civil liberties or personal freedom, whatever the hell they're talking about in those pages. My opinion is that we deserve more, and this place can give it to us, and it is not too late.
Not too late! Not too late!
And you can help by showing up for bargaining, handing out flyers, making sure we squeeze every red cent from these people that we need to be made whole while bargaining is going on. You can fight. Violence isn't the answer, but fighting is. Fight for each other, because management sure as hell won't.
That's right!
Those who remain are still our Guild siblings. We still love them. They did not do this. And if you are a member, what the hell are you doing? Get up here and replace me. Because I'm not going to be here anymore. They told me my services were no longer needed. This place failed us, but we will not fail each other. Solidarity forever. Thank you.
I'd love to get a chant going of "It's not too late" with me. It's not too late.
It's not too late! It's not too late! It's not too late! It's not too late!
It's not too late! It's not too late! It's not too late!
It's not too late. Thank you guys so much. One of the best things about working at the Washington Post has always been the community. Desks that don't always work together will look out for each other. Reporters from opposite sides of the room will reach out and say, hey, do you need help with that? Do you know someone in this organization? Yeah, I've got a number. Let me give it to you. Not all news organizations are like that. I know. I have worked at a lot of them. The Post collegiality and family has been one of the most special things about working here. And the people in charge today are committed to cutting that heart out of this newspaper. When we learned that hundreds of people were going to lose their jobs, a number of desks sent emails and letters begging our owner, Jeff Bezos, to spare people. The international staff wrote a letter. The Metro staff wrote a letter. And the White House staff, which was not under threat of losing anyone, wrote a letter on behalf of us, saying they cannot do the work that they do without their colleagues in sports across the world and right here in Washington, D.C. We are so grateful and so proud to work with reporters who know the power of collaboration and community. And it is my privilege to introduce Kat Zakrzewski, White House reporter for the Washington Post.
Thank you all for being here today. Yesterday, I received a note that my job was, quote, not impacted by the layoffs. I'm here to correct the record.
Get the megaphone. Get the megaphone.
Okay. All right. I'm here to correct the record. My reporting on the White House directly relied on the sourcing and expertise of colleagues across the room, in tech, in business, in international, in sports, in metro. When President Trump met with President Zelensky, my colleagues on the ground in Ukraine provided critical reporting. When CEOs met with Trump in the Oval Office, I worked with reporters on business and tech to find out what they said. When I found out Trump was making a surprise visit to a UFC match, my first text was to colleagues on the sports desk. Yesterday, hundreds of those colleagues were laid off. Those of us still in the empty newsroom today are at a loss for how to continue our work without them. There is a difference between necessary change and illogical cuts that leave our journalists and our readers adrift. Our leaders say they want to excel in political coverage as they cut some of the most talented political reporters on our staff. They say we will focus on areas like tech as they eliminate the vast majority of our reporters covering tech companies, AI, and online culture. They say we will own national security as our foreign bureaus are eliminated. To my friends who are laid off, I promise to fight for you. Talented reporters should not have to pay the price for poor business decisions. Thank you.
I'm going to try a little double fisting here. We lost a lot of really incredible journalists yesterday, but we didn't only lose journalists yesterday. We also lost colleagues who make the business of this place work, who make the technology of this place work, and who do the thing that these leaders claim they want us to do, make money. I would like to introduce you to one of my colleagues on the commercial side, Colin Camp. He's a production manager with Wash Post Live, our events arm, which just got eliminated yesterday in the round of cuts.
Thank you. I'm Colin Camp, Vice Chair for Unit Outreach for the Post Guild and Production Manager for Washington Post Events. When I came to the Post 4 years ago, I was excited for the opportunity to work with the very best in the industry. And that is exactly what I found in my fellow workers. As a commercial employee, I had a chance to work with immensely talented event planners and producers, production engineers, marketing professionals, and audience specialists. All positions that were impacted by the short-sighted and devastating layoffs announced yesterday. Time and time again, I have seen my colleagues punished for inexplicable mismanagement and poor decision-making from our leaders. My fellow laid-off colleagues are paying the price for terrible decision-making at the top, and those still employed are once again being set up for failure. This cycle cannot continue. That's right. My colleagues are the most talented individuals I've ever met, and Post employees in the newsroom, in engineering, in opinions, and on the commercial deserve better.
We are out here today united as Post workers. The operative word in that sentence is workers. We make the Washington Post, and we are very grateful to be supported in our fight today and in the past by workers in other industries from other parts of the News Guild and CWA, the Communications Workers of America. I'm honored now to introduce one of our allies in the fight and the creator of one of the best protest chants I've ever heard. President of the American Flight Attendants Association, Sarah Nelson.
Let's go, Sam!
Democracy dies in the hands of Jeff Bezos. Disgusting. Disgusting. Wait, and actually, I think we need one of those. Union busting is disgusting.
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 Let me tell you something, as flight attendants, I just want to put some perspective on this. The BBB bill, I'm not going to call it what they called it. The big bullshit bill, I guess. It allocated 14 times more to ICE and prisons than it did to rebuilding the infrastructure of the aviation system that millions of people use every day. And the people in this building behind me have kept me safe throughout my 30-year career as a flight attendant. Shedding light on unsafe conditions. Calling to account Boeing to put profits over our lives. Calling to account the airlines who want to try to extract more from the American people and give you less, while taking workers' pensions, cutting our pay, and making us spend more time at work. It's the same thing in every single industry. I was looking today, what are some of the things that Jeff Bezos has said? He said he wanted to give away all of his money in his lifetime. Well, he's doing a really good job of giving away his money to Donald Trump so that he can get richer and richer. And as I said before, he does not think about real people. He is barely human. That's right. That's right. He certainly doesn't have any actual feelings. But we are here to hold him to account. Because the service that the workers at the Post does is what Americans need to keep democracy alive. It is what Americans need to keep us safe. It is what Americans need to work with people all around the world to save our Earth. As I said before, Jeff Bezos doesn't care because he built his dick rocket to go to Mars, and while he leaves the rest of us on the burning Earth. No more dick rockets!
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 Food, people, housing, healthcare, right here on Earth, right here at the Post. We stand with you. We're never backing down, Jeff Bezos, and we're coming for you.
Thank you so much. I want to thank everyone who's come out to stand with us today. Every single person here, members of the media, we see you, we appreciate you, thank you for being here. Members of the public, we are so grateful for you, and we hope that this organization does right by you, but until it does, I know that all of us will keep trying. Thank you to some of our supporters who came out today, members of the New York Times Guild.
Solidarity!
Mayoral candidate Janice Lewis-George is here.
Woo! Let's go, JLP!
Members of AFSCME. And other allies and comrades who came out in the not too cold to stand with us today and to demand a better Washington Post for us all. We deserve better. You deserve better. This city deserves better. This country deserves better. The whole damn world deserves better. Thank you guys. I would love to close with one more chant of Save the Post. Make it loud. I want Jeff Bezos isn't here, but I want Will Lewis to hear it on the 9th floor where he retreated and cut off access to his workers. Save the Post.
Save the Post! 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 Save the Post!
If you'd like to support journalists who are both laid off and not, please submit letters through our Action Network. There are QR codes on the flyers that we've been handing out. There's more flyers up here. Come grab one. The letters demand a better Washington Post and better treatment for all of its workers. We would also ask, if you can, please donate to our laid off worker support fund. We're collecting money. It will all go to workers who have been impacted by these layoffs, both here and abroad. Every penny will go to those workers. Please help us if you can. And lastly, I would ask, please supporting good journalism. Please keep supporting good journalism. We need it now more than ever. And journalists pay the price when people cancel subscriptions or retreat from organizations that are doing their damnedest to keep this place afloat. So please keep paying for your news, keep going to reliable sources. And sure, yeah, fire Will Lewis. Thank you guys. Thank you for coming out. Save the Post.
That was big. Gotta go.